bucka. Ha You know the deal.
Most word problems that you're going to be dealing with in grade 9 are going to involve two unknowns. The first step that you have to do when you're approaching a question like this, where we have two unknowns, is come up with what's called your let statement, where we assign a variable to the unknown and then an expression to the second unknown. In grade 9, we never use two variables for two unknowns. So we start by looking at this sentence here, and we're told that Taylor is 5 times as old as Spencer, and that the sum of their ages is 18. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to use one of these pieces of information for the let statement, and one of these pieces of information to write the equation. The first question you want to ask yourself is, if I could know one of these ages, which one would I want to know first? Personally, I'd want to know Spencer's age first, because if I knew how old Spencer was, I could calculate how old Taylor is by using this piece of information here. So when you ask yourself that question, well, which one would I want to know first? That's the one you assign the variable to. So what we're going to state here is, let x represent Spencer's age. The next question we have to ask ourselves is, well, if we knew what Spencer's age was, what would be the easiest way to calculate Taylor's age? And I would say the easiest way here is to use this statement. We're told that Taylor is 5 times as old as Spencer. So what that means is, if we knew what Spencer's age was, we would multiply it by 5 to calculate Taylor's age. Well, we don't know what Spencer's age is, but we have called it x. So to calculate Taylor's age, we would multiply Spencer's age times 5. So therefore what we can say is, Taylor's age must be 5 times Spencer's age, so Taylor's age is 5. Well, when you're approaching a word problem, you're always going to be given two pieces of information at least. One of the pieces of information you're going to use to come up with your let and therefore statement. And we use this statement here for that. We use the fact that Taylor is 5 times as old as Spencer to come up with our let statement and therefore statement. Again, we chose x for Spencer's age because that's what we would want to know first. We would want to know Spencer's age first. And once we knew what Spencer's age was, we could multiply it times 5 to get Taylor's age. We called Spencer's age x because we'd want to know that first. To calculate Taylor's age, we multiply 5 times Spencer's age, so 5 times x to get Taylor's age. Well, our next step now is to write an equation that we can solve. And we're going to use the other piece of information to write that equation. And what we're told here is that the sum of their ages is 18. Well, sum means we add the ages together. So we take Spencer's age, which is x, and we take Taylor's age, which is 5x, and if we were to add those together, it would have to equal 18. Well, now what we have is an algebraic equation that we can solve. Our first step here is to simplify. These are like terms, so we can add x plus 5x. When we simplify that, x plus 5x is 6x. We haven't changed the left side at all. We've just simplified it. So the right side is still 18. Now we can go about isolating the variable. To get rid of times 6, we divide by 6. If we divide the left side by 6, we have to divide the right side by 6. Multiplying by 6 and dividing by 6 essentially cancels itself out, makes 1. 1x is the same as x, and 18 divided by 6 is 3. So what does that tell us? X is 3. Well, if you recall, x represented Spencer's age. Usually these questions are asked in English, so you have to answer in English. So we have to write a statement, something along the lines of, therefore, Spencer is 3 years old. Now, of course, we have to answer the question, how old is Taylor? Well, we were told that Taylor is 5 times as old as Spencer. So, again, we can write therefore, or this little symbol for therefore, which is a little triangle with these 3 dots, and we would write Taylor is, well, how would we calculate Taylor's age? 5 times Spencer's age. 5 times 3 is 15, so Taylor must be 15 years old. we know that 3 times 5 is 15. If we look at the second piece of information, the sum of their ages has to be 18. Well, 15 plus 3 is 18. So we've met both criteria of this question.